What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Y'all, I've been working today. It's been a busy, busy day. Y'all know this is your third time seeing me today. But I did want to come on and speak on this issue because it's been a hot topic, and y'all have been in my inboxes. Okay, y'all have been all up in my inboxes asking me about this. So I did want to speak on it. Um, but let me say hi to the people. What's up, Nay? Grandma said that you have not texted her back. She texted you on Sunday, so you may want to talk to your grandmama. Lemon Kush, what's up, Mr. Willie Brown? Hey, Nicole Turner, another black couple breaking up, so sad. Well, I think there may be some light at the end of this tunnel. We'll talk about it. Self-care, not selfish. Hey, wanted to ask about this, but didn't want to come off as messy. Sending love to Symone. Oh, she appreciates it. Hey, Quintessential. Hey, Vintage. Thanks again for that information earlier in the live, girl. I appreciate it. Well, girl or guy. I'm sorry. I think you told me before that you're a girl. Hey, Phil. Hey, L Love. Abby said, let me grab my cinnamon rolls and ice cream chop. Me and Abby been talking about this thing all weekend. Well, I keep saying weekend, but Monday, Sunday, and Monday. Hey, Miss Bynum, Natty Spencer. Hey, Brandon, Nat Queen, Francois. Hey, my love. Hey, Cams. Hey, Boo. Hey, Rabu. Got your watermelon cocktail. Okay, girl. Loving the lippy. Thank you. It's a little, it's a little light today. I got a little lip liner, and I got a little fancy, little fancy gloss. Honey. It's a little lip liner with a little fancy gloss. Okay. You ordered your Avon. Thank you. I need to order myself some Avon, child. I need to give me some oil and some other odds and ends, child. You wanted to cry listening to Symone. She's so devastated. I know, Andre. So let me just tell. Okay, so first of all, come on in, take a seat. Hit the like button if you have not already done so, and if you are not subscribed, go ahead and do it. It's free 99, child. Donations are not required, but they are accepted. So, there you go. And thank you for the cash apps earlier. I got a few. Thank you so much. So for those who don't know what the heck we talking about, Symone and Rashid were on season 3, I think, of Ready to Love. It was the resort season. If you watch Ready to Love and you forgot whatever, it was the season where they were on the resort, right? Now, they did not hook up on the show. However, after the show, they started hanging out. Then they started dating, and it progressed from there. They were formally engaged on the season premiere of this season, which, of course, we know they filmed it last summer, I guess. It was around last summer. So they had already been engaged for a few months before we found out about it. I knew, but it wasn't on the show. No, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me not tell a lie. I knew they were engaged before the season, before it premiered. I did not know he had proposed to her on the show. But I knew they were engaged. I think we knew they were engaged. Anyway, but I knew they were engaged before the show premiered. I just didn't know it had happened on the show. So around now, y'all know that I'm cool with Symone. She's come on my channel. I've been over there on her channel, and I really, really like Symone. I met Symone even before that through Kamisha Reviews when I used to do the Ready to Love panel on her channel. We are not, I'm not going to sit here and say we are best friends, but we are cool. I have her phone number. She has my phone number. She know my legal name. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So back in December, she invited me to her engagement party. And you guys probably remember that I flew out to Houston, went to the engagement party, had a wonderful time. The engagement party was beautiful. It was great. It was impressive, After the party, there was an after party. There was an after party. Child, I had to tap out because I'm old, okay? I went to the after party. I didn't make it to the after party, child. I had to tap out. But it was a great time. I'm glad she invited me, and I'm glad that I went. Shout out to my niece because she was the one that was like, girl, go. Why you not going to go? And I was like, well, I mean, school just let back in. I didn't want to take off work. She was like, why? She was like, why? Now, she didn't say F them kids, but I feel like that's what she was thinking. She probably did say it, though. She don't, She don't really cuss in front of me, but she probably did say F them kids. Anyway, so I'm glad that I went. So fast forward to, I was invited to the first wedding. I mean, I didn't get a formal invitation, but I was told, girl, you on the list. When the invitations go out, boom, boom, boom. And so I was like, oh, sus, I can't wait. You know, I'm going, fly up to Houston for the wedding. Cool. So when the date was getting closer and closer to the original date, they were supposed to get married April the 15th. I was like, Symone, and I didn't even say it in any kind of way. I was just like, Symone, what's going on with the wedding? And she was like, oh, girl, we had to push it back. We're still trying to get some stuff together. It's no big deal. I said, okay, cool. She said, yeah, I think this one is going to be a destination wedding. And so I knew they were going to limit the people. So I was like, oh, I'm probably not going to make the cut for that one. It was going to be in Mexico. I was like, I've done destination weddings before. I'm like, might not make the cut for this one. So then a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to her. We were doing a show. I think like 2 weeks ago, me and her were doing a show. And we were trying to figure out the time. And she was like, oh, well, well, the realtor is coming to show the house, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, okay, y'all are selling the house. And she was like, yeah, girl, the realtor's coming to show the house. Again, she never said anything. I just assumed, oh, well, they're getting ready to get married. They're going to sell his house so they can get a house together, but both of their names are going to be on it. It'll be their house. I didn't think nothing of it. Now, let me say this. I've talked to Symone. Symone said I could share, so I'm sharing, okay? So Saturday night, maybe? It might have been Saturday night before I went to bed. Y'all know we did the after dark. If you remember, we did the members only after dark Saturday night, and then I literally went to bed. Got up I was out of the house by 6:30 Sunday morning to get on the road because I had to go to Atlanta for a day or two. Somewhere between Saturday night and Sunday morning, I was scrolling YouTube and I saw the video that Rashid dropped. Now, for those who do not know, Symone and Rashid have a YouTube channel called Ages and Stages, where they have chronicled their relationship, but they also review Ready to Love. They do reviews of Ready to Love. Symone has her own Girl Is That Legal channel, right? So I saw that Rashid dropped the video and it said Confessions of a Imperfect Man or something like that. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I kept scrolling. I was like, okay. That wasn't something that I necessarily wanted to watch in that moment. I was like, okay, I'm looking for something to look. I didn't want to, it did not tickle my fancy. I'm just going to be real about it. I was like, I don't know if I feel like listen, and I saw it was an hour and something long. I said, I don't know if I feel like this was like going to be one of those, because in the past, Rashid has done like men's panels and stuff like that on the channel. So I thought it was going to be something along those lines where he was talking to the men and dating and stuff. I didn't want to see that. But it did not take long. Like I said, I was on the road at 6:00 in the morning. I think so too, Quintessential. Confessions of a Flawed Man. Thank you, Eds. I absolutely agree, Quintessential. I really do feel like Owen should have given them some sort of wedding special, but child, that's beside the point right now. Because child, if they had, they would have lost their money. We're gonna get back to that. Symone, Symone is on Ready to Love. I just gave that whole explanation. It's on Ready to Love. I don't know if you look at Ready to Love or not. Okay. The only reason I looked because he looked like he had been crying. And he did look pitiful, Tanner. Tanner, he did. He looked real pitiful. I'm not even gonna be mean about it, but he did. He looked real pitiful in that video. And I said the same thing. Me and Eddie said the same thing. We were like, this man looked a hot mess. Okay. So like I told you, I got on the road at like 6:30 in the morning. What's up, Peace? But around maybe 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, the group chat started popping off. I'm not sure the exact time, but maybe around 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And when I mean the group chat, I mean the group chat that I'm still in Kamisha's group chat, even though I don't do the panel anymore. She was like, girl, you family, I ain't putting you out the group chat. So I'm still in the group chat. And we talk, we talk about stuff all the time over there. So I'm not gonna say who it was. It doesn't matter. Anyway, somebody in the group chat dropped the link and was like, "Oh my God, did y'all look at this?" Now, mind you, I'm still driving, so I'm like halfway paying attention to the chat, halfway driving. I'm not halfway driving, all the way driving. And I was like, "Well, oh snap! Maybe I need to go and listen to what Rashid is talking about." So again, y'all, I clicked on the link. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When he started talking about when I was a kid and my parents were divorced and my grandfather and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I clicked off of it. I was like, I'm just need to get the cliff notes because again, this is an hour. And I just didn't know if I wanted to go back to his childhood for whatever it was he had to say. And I still didn't know it was about them breaking up. So I went back to the group chat, and of course, then I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. What in the world happened? So I redballed, child. I still ain't listened to that whole video. I'm just going to go and call a thing a thing. I redballed through it to get the gist of it, right? And I'm going to just be honest with y'all. And I told Symone that I would be honest, right? My first response or my first thought, and I've said this all along, and I said this to Symone when I talked to her too. And this isn't personal against Rashid. I met Rashid. I like Rashid. And I 100% believe that Rashid loved Symone's dirty draws. You understand what I'm saying? I do not think he is a bad guy. I think he is a good guy that makes bad decisions. So let me just be clear about that. But I felt like that video was very self-serving. I felt like, this was my initial reaction. I felt like this video was a preemptive strike because I think that, and this was my first thought, I said, oh, because he don't know what Symone about to do. He don't know if Symone is about to blast him. So I felt like this was, let me get my narrative out there first to take away a little bit of the punch of her, of what I think she's going to give me, right? That was my opinion. I immediately sent a message to Symone, right? I just sent her a quick text. I just was like, girl, I'm sending, I ain't gonna say everything I said, but it was a very much just supportive type thing. It wasn't YouTuber, it was just supportive. Her phone was on Do Not Disturb, which I definitely understood. And I talked to another friend of hers. I said, look, I just want to make sure she's good because this is very public. At that point, I think the first time I saw the video, I think it was at like 2,000 views, right? By the time it was in the group chat, it was like at 5,000 views. Every time I went back, the views were going up and up and up. The last time I looked, it was like at 70,000 views, and I ain't even checked it today. So I'm sure if it's not already at 100,000, it is knocking on the door of 100,000 views. So honestly, I was like, I know her phone on Do Not Disturb. So I said, I just want to make sure she's okay. So I talked to a mutual friend, and the mutual friend was like, I haven't talked to her personally, but I've talked to somebody who has, and she's good, relatively speaking, but she's good. I said, okay. I made the personal decision, and listen, I don't have no beef with nobody who did what they do. We are YouTubers, and we review celebrity news and gossip. That is what I do. And I come down here and I talk about everybody's business. Symone is not exempt. However, I decided that I wasn't going to speak on it until I had talked to Symone. Not that she needed to give me permission to talk about her. And I know she would have totally understood if I had done the video, because she knows what it is that we do. The video is currently at 95K. See, I knew it was knocking on the door. Thanks, Ed. So for me personally, it was never about I owed her or I had, it was just I wanted both sides of the story, because the Symone that I know, and I ain't saying that we're best friends, But I knew that a lot of people were turning this into a money thing. I knew a lot of people were turning this into like a money grab, or, oh, she's just so they can work through that. It's just finances. And well, it's not like he cheated on her. And oh, well, doesn't she do background checks? She couldn't check her own man. Like, the comments were really nasty. Not all of them, but there were some really, people were changing the whole narrative. People were talking about when her and Jeffrey got into it. I mean, people had all kinds of stuff to say, right? And I really wanted her side of the story before I said anything. So let me say this. Did Symone do a background check on Rashid? Absolutely. They went over their credit reports together. They did a whole video where they pulled their credit reports and they went over their credit reports together as a couple. That is what they did. They have been very transparent about their lives, right? Hey, Auntie. Hey, and I watched your video. I watched Auntie's. Listen, I watched all the videos this weekend. Well, I keep saying weekend. Y'all know what I'm saying. That's my girl, Auntie, y'all. If y'all not watching Auntie, y'all better get over there and y'all better. So she absolutely did. Here's the thing that I want people to understand. And she did a video. She did do an interview tonight with Kamisha Reviews, and she shared a lot of what me and her talked about on the phone. And she gave me permission. There were certain things that she asked me not to repeat, but for the most part, she gave me permission to repeat pretty much what we talked about. And a lot of what we talked about, she did talk about tonight on Kamisha's video. Here's the thing, y'all. It's not the fact that the man was in debt. He told her after their third date, look, I'm not rich. And she told him, oh, I know. He said, but I picked you up in the Lamborghini. She said, but I know it's not yours. Right? From the beginning of their relationship, finances has been an issue. Now, first of all, what I want all of us to do, I want all of us to understand that this is a middle class to upper middle class couple, right? Let's just call a thing a thing. Symone is an attorney. Rashid was running a concierge service where he sold high-end vehicles, right? Hold on, y'all. This camera, Lord, me and this camera, I ain't lying. And it's kind of like when you sell high-end real estate, right? You sell $1 million home. All right, sorry about that, y'all. This camera gets on my nerves. Oh Lord. You sell $1 million home, what the world? Sorry, y'all. This camera is acting up. Home, and you get your commission off of that, or $2 million home, that commission's great. And when you sell high-end real estate, $5 million homes, $20 million homes, or commercial realty, baby, the commission is great. But what happens when you don't sell a house for 6 months, or 3 months, or 5 months? So yes, if I'm selling Bentleys and Rolls Royce and Porsches and 300 G wagons or whatever, yeah, the commission is great when I'm selling them. But when I don't sell them, that's where the issue comes in. And the reality of the situation is most of us, I can't say everybody, most of us live within the means of what we make. If you get a raise on your job, child, you spend a little bit more. If you get a job making more money, you spend a little bit more. And you be sitting there like, daggone, I was living comfortable when I was making $20,000 less. I make $20,000 more. Why I still don't have no money at the end of the month? Because you have increased your spending to match your paycheck. Everybody don't do it, but a lot of us do. And I'm going to be here and tell you, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I have done it. I have done it, right? Symone's issue was, no matter what we do, you're not changing your pattern. Symone used her resources and her know-how as an attorney. She got stuff taken off this man's credit. She fought, went to court, wrote letters, did the stuff she had to do. She knocked off credit card debt. She said she knocked off a $10,000 credit card debt. And then he came in the house with a $120,000 car. You got to make it make sense. So I'm out here fighting to get your debt knocked down, and you're getting into more debt. You got to make it make sense. Now, granted, he's buying these cars with the anticipation that he had this idea. Well, car sales are slow. We're post pandemic. The car business is a little bit slow right now. So I'm going to rent these cars out. Everybody want to floss. Everybody want to drive around in a high-end vehicle. I'm going to rent them out. Okay, well, here's the problem with renting something out. You still got to pay that mortgage or that car note. I mean, it's like buying investment property. You still got to pay that mortgage regardless of whatever's going on. Whether you found anybody to rent it, whether the car breaks down and you got to get it fixed, that car note don't change. Right? So Symone was like, listen, we went to credit counselors. He would do it for a couple of months and then he would fall off. He went to therapy. If you saw the video, he went all the way back to his childhood child. She said he went to therapy. He would do it for a couple of months and then he would stop. So the thing is, at what point I'm no longer helping you, I'm just enabling you to continue to make bad decisions. Right? She used the example of the wedding, and people over in Kamisha's chat were still like questioning stuff. And I'm like, y'all, sometimes I feel like people really live in their own. Y'all, I'm just rambling. So I'm sorry. Thank y'all for being here. I'm just rambling. Put stuff in the chat. I'll talk about it. I'll address it. But I'm just telling you how I feel about this situation. Because I think sometimes we just get on our high horses and we act like we ain't never met a flawed man. We ain't never dated a flawed man. We ain't never made bad decisions, even when the good decision was in our face. Yes, Symone ran a background check, but like she said, if I'm looking at your credit statement and I am addressing what's on your credit statement, your credit report, but you out here getting into more debt with people, you're getting other people to co-sign, that's not on your credit. If I'm pulling your credit and I see that there are 3 cars on your credit, but you come into the driveway with a 4th car, that's not on your credit report. You went and got somebody to co-sign, and he told y'all that in the video that he had stuff in family members' names, right? He told y'all that. So it's easy to be like, oh, well, wait a minute. Symone was like, listen, I did all the things that I tell y'all to do. But I can only work with what's in front of me. She said, people were like, well, she said, I even was like, give me your paycheck and I'll just handle all of the bills. She said, but the problem with that is, are we really fixing the problem? You're 45 years old. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a difference between I'm just better with handling the business and the finances versus if I let you keep your check, you're not going to bring no money home. Or you going to fuck up the money. Right? And I'm all over the place, child, because I was making a whole nother point and I done went left, child. I done went left. But when you realize that all of the things that we're doing, you're doing them long enough for me not to be mad anymore. And I said that. She ain't say that. Those are my words. You're going to the counselor long enough for me to get off your back. You're following the plan long enough for me to get off your back, right? You're doing these things so that I'll stop fussing or I'll stop being mad, or it takes the focus off of you or the bullseye off of you. So at what point do you realize maybe I need to remove myself from the situation so you can figure it out? The wedding. Let's talk about the wedding. Because I saw people in the chat making comments about this wedding situation. Y'all, let's just call a thing a thing. I know that traditionally the parents of the bride pay for the wedding. I know that is the tradition. But let me tell y'all something. At a certain point, I think that, we got to look at rules for what they are, okay? I mean, look at traditions for what they are. At this point, if I were to get married, I would, there's no way in the world I would let my parents pay for my wedding. I'm grown. I have a whole career. My parents are retired, living on a fixed income. Now, granted, they planned well for their retirement, but my parents are not independently wealthy. Why would I expect them to pay for a $20,000 wedding, a $30,000 wedding, hell, even a $10,000 wedding? So they came up with a plan. Symone's parents said they would contribute $10,000. Symone contributed $10,000. Rashid was supposed to put in $10,000. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable compromise to say, listen, you're 45, I'm 30 something. Well, she was 40 when they were getting married. And this is the compromise. I think you can have a really nice wedding for $30,000. A very nice wedding for $30,000. So the first time around, when it came time for them to start paying for stuff, Rashid ain't have his money. They pushed the wedding back to give him more time. They changed it from a big wedding in Houston to a destination wedding in Mexico so that, that cut down the cost of the wedding. Well, when it was time for him to come up with his $10,000 the second time, he still didn't have it. And he said, hey, let's just go elope in Vegas. And Symone said that her first response was, okay, I love you. I don't care when we get married. I just want to get married. And then she slapped on him. And she said, wait a minute. We're going to elope because you couldn't come up with your money after a year. Mind you, they've been engaged for a year, y'all. You can come up with your part of the wedding money after a year. Houston, we have a bigger problem. And then people in the chat were like, well, why are y'all paying for the wedding anyway? Well, I just explained that. I addressed that. So then people in the chat were like, well, didn't you see the red flags? She was like, I did. That's why I'm not getting married. Like, hello? I saw the flags. But here's the other thing, too. She didn't throw this man away. She tried to work with this man. She tried to, I don't want to use the word fix, but she tried to, let's figure it out. Because her thing was, listen, I didn't come into this relationship perfect. I got flaws. I got some ish with me too. And I know he's a good man. I know he loves me. I love him. She said it was never a situation where he went out and he spent the money on, he came home and he had spent the money on clothes or jewelry or whatever other than her engagement ring. He was just out here throwing good money after bad, being an entrepreneur and coming up with all of these different schemes to get me out of business, to get out the hole. And everything he came up with put them deeper and deeper into the hole. You see what I'm saying? And so I'm talking to Symone. Me and Symone had a long conversation on my way home yesterday. I was on the phone with her while I was on the road yesterday. We had a really good conversation. And, her thing was, she's not at absolutely no, right? Because she still loves him and he still loves her. Hell, she said the man was cutting her grass. She done moved back into her house and she said the man was over there cutting her grass, child. Okay? They love each other. That's not the question. But the question is for Rashid, and I'm saying this to Rashid, the question is, how much do you love her? Because now they're at a point now where it's not an easy fix. You feel what I'm saying? So, for example, and I want to be careful because some of this I can't say. If everything was in his name and on his credit report, there are things that they could do to fix it. But because some of this debt that he has occurred is external debt, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that. Piggy Tiki, that's a good question. Why did he go public? That was my original statement because I was like, I feel like this is self-serving. I don't know why he did this. This was too soon. Like Symone literally moved out this weekend. I feel like he made that video probably as soon as she left the house. Now, what Symone said was she told him, and that's it, Abby. The best apology is change behavior. And at this point, it's just going to have to be some change behavior. But she said that she told him to make the video because for those of you who have been following them, you know that they have been chronicling this journey. They videotaped the engagement party. I was there. They videotaped, him buying the ring, her going dress shopping. They videotaped when she did her bridesmaid. They went on a trip. They videotaped. I don't know if he didn't really have like a bachelor party, but I think him and his guys just got together and did cigars and drinks or whatever. They didn't do like a rowdy, party or whatever. But they've been chronicling all of this for their YouTube channel, right? So what she said, she told him was, do a video explaining why the wedding has been canceled and send it to the editor so that they have a period at the end of this story. Because we still going to put it out because we've been filming it for a year and we done put money. We've been paid, we paid for editing and we did this and we did that. Oh, no, we're putting this out. She tell him to put it on YouTube. So that's why I feel like some of that was him trying to get ahead of the story, not knowing what she was going to do or not do. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. As much as Symone talks and as much as, she likes to talk, I don't feel like Symone would have addressed it had he not done that video. Or certainly not addressed it now. That's what I think. That's my opinion. We went to Atlanta, Jonathan. We all know people like this. They have a block when it comes to understanding money and long-term planning. Many times it stems from not coming from much in childhood, always being bailed out. Listen, if I'm going to just call a thing, y'all, I, for a long time, effed up my money. And I'm just being real with y'all. And it was bad. I've never been good with money. Now, I'm a lot better now than I was. I'm a lot better. But baby, listen. And I will F up some money and not know what I did with it. I mean, I literally could blow money and be like, what did I do? I didn't go on a shopping spree. I didn't buy nothing major. But it'll be nickel and dime, 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 nickel and dime. So it's easy to do, y'all. It is. Listen, child, if I had found the love of my life during that time period, he probably would have left my ass too. Because Lord knows I never had no money at the end of my month. Okay? Okay? I ain't never had no money at the end of my month. Okay? I would make more money and Lord, it'd be gone. He probably sees nothing wrong with his behavior, which makes it worse. I think it's an impulse issue. I think he knows. I don't think he can help himself. Because again, why would you go and buy more cars while you are actively trying to get out of debt? And Tracy, that's it right there. Tracy said the lying is the problem for me. And that, I think, was the final straw for Symone. Because when I talked to her, she said to me, it's a trust issue. She said, it's not even about the money. I just can't trust you to do what you tell me you're going to do. We've been having this conversation. This has been something we've been dealing with for the entirety of our relationship. And you have made promises that you just don't keep. And it's a trust issue at this point. I don't trust what is coming out of your mouth. And I don't care whether, when you lose, people always talk about when there's no trust, da 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 da. And I think a lot of times people put it in the capacity of infidelity or something. But that's across the board. If I don't trust the words that are coming out of your mouth, what do we have? What type of relationship can we build if I don't trust you? And that's what she was saying. She said, I honestly felt like I think with Symone, and this is me, this isn't Symone's words, these are my words. I think Symone is at the point now where, like Abby said a few minutes ago, the best apology is changed behavior. But in order for me to see it, I have to remove myself from it. And I have to see how you do it. Like he's going to counseling. He's got another credit counselor. Since he put that video out, everybody and their cousin have offered him help. And Symone's thing is, take the help. I hope that it comes through. I hope that the people can help you. I hope they can give you all the things that you need. But what I need to do for myself is I need to remove myself from it and see what you do. Now, let me be clear with y'all, and this is my opinion. This ain't Symone talking, this is really me talking, based on what I talked to Symone about. I think if Rashid sticks to a plan, I think if he goes out here and he sticks to a plan and he shows a dedication over an extended period of time, I think there's hope for them. Phil said, realist statement to F up some money and be last like what happened, like it wasn't me. I understand it's a process. Financial advisors really do help. Yeah, I mean, listen. And the reality is you got to be honest with yourself first. I know the hardest thing for me to do, and still do, because sometimes I still have to do it. There are times when I still got to be like, why is my account $300 less than I thought it was? What did I do? But the hardest thing to do sometimes, y'all, is to really, and nowadays with debit cards and stuff, baby, you go into your account, it's all right there. But the hardest thing to do is to sit down and really look through it and be like, oh yeah, oh I did, oh that was $25. Oh shit, that was $60. Damn, that was $100. And it start adding up. Well, and that's what she said, Tracy. She said that tonight. You know, she said that. She said, am I still gonna be around when you get it together? Because the reality is she does want to be a mom. You know, she does want to be a mom, and she is older. And there are things, you know, like, does she love him? Yes, that's never a question. But there's a whole lot of people that love each other and can't make it work. Exactly, KFS, and that's what she said. Time is not on her side. She wants a baby, you know? Hey, Mug Chip. Absolutely, he has to stand alone on this one. This is his lesson to learn. I agree with all of that, y'all. I'm with y'all 120%. And so, you know, a lot of people made some great videos this weekend. Auntie was in here earlier. Y'all check out Auntie's advice. Y'all know Kamisha did the interview. I don't want to start naming people because then I'm gonna forget somebody. But you know, there were a lot of great videos with people. Chloe did a good video. Chloe actually went through his video, and she actually went back to the video where they looked over each other's credit report, and you can kind of see some things that Symone might have been a little surprised about, and she questioned him about. So again, she wasn't naive. She was not naive at all about the situation. Exactly, Phil. I love you, but I love me more. There you go. Let me say, I did take a few notes because, again, we talked on the phone while I was driving, but I did watch Kamisha's interview, and so I did take a few notes. So let me just go through my notes to make sure I didn't forget to say something I wanted to say. She did do a background check. They developed a plan. He would never stick with it. Didn't have the money for the wedding. 2 years of working on their finances. As an attorney, she actually got stuff taken off of his credit. But he would continue to incur debt. Hey, Miss Parker. Oh, the birthday trip. Okay, I'm gonna come back to the birthday trip. Took out debt in other people's name. open to getting back together, but it's a complex issue that's going to take a lot of time. Okay, so those were my notes. But so here's the birthday thing. Symone's birthday is the New Year's time period. So they were supposed to go to Mexico for her birthday. They had planned this trip to Mexico. I think her friends were going, all that good stuff. Y'all, this camera, I have got to figure out what the problem is with this camera. I've tried to adjust the settings and all of that, and it just keeps doing it. It's just too daggone sensitive. And it takes too long to refocus. Hold on, let me change this. Hold on. Maybe I should put it on this. All right, I changed the setting again. I'll see if that helps. Can't play with a Capricorn's money? Yeah, she's a Capricorn. So 3 days before this trip they were supposed to take, see the quality, I don't think the quality is as good now. Oh, well. 3 days before they were supposed to take this birthday trip, he tells her he don't have the money. She was like, well, what about the hotel? He said, oh, well, that's refundable. I can get my money back from the hotel. She said, what about the flight? He hadn't bought the flight yet. So you waited until 3 days over the holiday to tell her, yeah, I have the hotel room booked, but baby, I never bought the flight. Because her thing was, had he told me, the trip could have been salvaged, right? But because he waited so long, when she went to go look for flights, guess what? The flights were ridiculous to Mexico for New Year's, right? So they ended up not going. And her thing was, that was the first major disappointment. That was the first time that there was a major consequence for her with him mismanaging his funds, right? And again, I've seen people in other comments be very insensitive to stuff like, oh my gosh, well, it's, what's the big deal? It's just her birthday, whatever. And I'm like, but if that, I really feel like people don't put themselves in situations. Like, if that were you, you would feel some kind of way. Because I know I would. Y'all know how I feel about my birthday, which is coming up in 2 weeks, by the way. But y'all know how I feel about my birthday. I wish a Negro would. And then you wait to put me in a position where I don't have another option. Because now you've put me in a position where there's nothing I can really do about it. Had you told me 2 weeks ago, might have been able to get a decent flight. Or make some other arrangements stateside. But now you put me in a situation where I can't do it. So again, when people say, oh my gosh, and yes, I'm defending Symone a little bit because I think that people have been, I think some people, not everybody, but I think some people have been very hard on her. She did do the things that she tells us to do, y'all. She did. You know what I'm saying? She did the background check. They went through the credit report. They tried to fix the thing. You know what I'm saying? He didn't stick to the plan. And I don't know, when you love somebody, you don't throw them away. There's a whole lot of people who were making nasty comments at Symone that have put up with a whole lot worse from their man. And let's just call a thing a thing. We put up with men that cheat. We put up with men that gamble. We put up with men that do drugs. We put up with men that been to jail. We come up with all sorts of things to defend and support our man. Y'all feel what I'm saying? But I think, and this is just me, y'all, and you can call me out in the chat. You can tell me that you don't agree if you want to in the chat. But I feel like people looked at Symone and Rashid and they assumed what the lifestyle it was that they were living. And they were like, girl, you could put up with that. That's not a big deal. You get mad about that? Because you look at them and you think, oh, they were on TV. Oh, they go to these, they have this lifestyle. They drive nice cars. They dress nice. They carry themselves nice. And I think people were like, oh, so you're going to walk away because of what? Because of that? Listen, y'all have left men for less. Now, let's just call a thing a thing. Let's just call a thing. So it just, the comments were probably making me mad more than anything else, because I feel like people don't have to like Symone. And that's fine if you don't. Everybody ain't everybody's cup of tea. But because you don't particularly like her personally, or your perception of her, doesn't mean that the decision she made for herself was wrong. Doesn't mean that the decision she made for herself was superficial or based on a superficial situation. That ain't it, y'all. That ain't it. So, exactly, Bossy Don Diva. Finances are always either number one or number two when we start talking about divorce. So why not say, you know what? This ain't going in the direction. This ain't going in the direction that I wanted to go on. Or I wanted to go in, I should say. This ain't going in the direction that I wanted it to go in. And I need to put the brakes right here before I do find myself 4 or 5 years down the road still on this wheel. Still on this wheel. Exactly, you guys. Exactly. I'm reading the comments. I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. And I felt the same way, Phil. You can go back and look at my Ready to Love reviews. Symone wasn't my favorite person on that season. Absolutely not. She had her moments that I was like, okay, Symone girl. But overall, y'all can go back and look at my reviews, baby. Listen. I said what I said about how I felt about Miss Symone. I sure did. But again, it is what it is. So that's my 2 cents. People, like I said, for some of y'all might be like, why is she talking about it? People ask me for my opinion, y'all. People was in my inbox. People was messaging me. Did you hear about Symone? What you gonna say? Have you talked to Symone? What did she say? How did you feel? What you gonna do? Are you gonna say something? Y'all be surprised at the people that was in my inbox this weekend, okay? See, some people say they ain't like it till she came Pinky Tiki, because she came on my channel, see? Good evening. Love will allow you to overlook many things to the point of harm. Glad she got off the hamster wheel now better than later. Thank you, Miss Gigi. Exactly. I heard Denise said something she needs to shush. The child, Denise. Moving forward, I'm not going to entertain that child. I'm just going. But that's my 2 cents, you guys. And like I said, I did talk to Symone. And I shared with you guys most of what was shared. Some things, like I said, she asked me not to say publicly, but that I could share. And I, feel free to be honest. And like I said, what I said to her about it, and again, we just gonna love up on them. They made it. They have lived their lives publicly, so they made this public. And they knew that by making it public, they were opening themselves up to public opinion. It is what it is. So she'll continue to come on my channel. She told me today, she thanked me today because she said I made her, because we talked about Jocelyn Hernandez earlier. She said, girl, you gave me a reason to put on some makeup today, okay? You gave me a reason to get out of the bed. So, B, what do you think about them exposing the ex-wife? I thought it was ugly. I agree, Auntie. And listen, my opinion about Rashi's video don't change. I think that his video was very self-serving. And I wish he hadn't done it. And I do feel like, it's one thing when you tell your business, but you ain't got to tell my business, your business, her business, and his business to tell your business. There's a way of saying things without putting other people in it. I'm going to give y'all a perfect example. I know more specifically about the outside debt. I didn't have to say it though, did I? I just said he continued to accrue outside debt. Because by me saying more specifically what that outside debt was, that's bringing other people into a situation that don't need to be there. Right? You see what I'm saying? You see how you can say stuff without saying stuff? Now, like I told y'all, I redballed through a lot of that video. So I know he brought his ex-wife up. I know he talked about, things that happened in his marriage. I don't know everything, but there was no need to bring his ex-wife in it at all. At all. None of what he needed to tell us really needed to include his ex-wife, other than to say, I effed up the finances when I was married the first time. That's it. That's all. All you had to say was, I effed up the finances when I was married before. Other than that, we didn't need to know nothing else about you and your ex-wife. And here's the reason why, in my opinion, because you still don't have a good relationship with your ex-wife. Let's just call a thing a thing. So you think by including her in this video, you thought that was a good idea? You see what I'm saying? Like, you thought that was a good idea? You didn't need to bring her in this. Rashid looked like this financial situation been stressing him out. I hope he can recover. I think it absolutely has been stressing him out. I think it's been weighing on him. Y'all know stress will do it. The stress, look, stress kills. Stress kills. I will say this on a positive note. He did go back to work. So he is working a regular job. He works at a, well, he told y'all where he works. If you follow him on Instagram, you know where he works. I ain't gonna say it. Y'all can just go to his Instagram. But he has a really good job. He's making really good money, and he just got a promotion. He's going to be making really good money. So if he sticks to the financial planner and he does the things that he needs to do through a planner and through therapy, it's still not going to be an overnight fix, but he can get himself out of this. It's not insurmountable, but it is going to take time, and it's going to take dedication. And time will tell. Like Abby said, listen, change behavior is the best apology. And only time will tell, because again, you can do this once or twice. I mean, for 2 or 3 months. And then as soon as I ain't mad no more, or you think you've done enough, then you go back and you do the same thing you were doing before. So I think, and again, this is me speaking. This isn't Symone speaking. This is me speaking. I think that's part of where Symone is now. Like, look, I love you, and I really would like for this to work out. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to remove myself, and I'm going to sit back. I'm going to kick my feet up, and I'm going to watch what you do. And let's say a year from now, he did all of the things. He's stuck with it. He's shown improvement. He's making the right decisions. Who's to say that they won't find their way back to each other? Because it's not about love. They love each other. Yeah, she said she was losing her hair. Thank you, Marcy. You're welcome, my love. Yeah. So that's all I'm saying. I just feel like, so that's my answer to that, Auntie. I didn't think it was necessary. I just didn't think it was necessary. So Tracy or Abby, one of my mods, can y'all make sure y'all drop, please drop Girl Is That Legal's link. That is Symone's YouTube channel where she does the legalese, and she is still doing free background checks, so you can email her if you want her to look up somebody for you, baby daddy, ex-husband, somebody you met on the dating app. You want to make sure they are who they say they are, child. She's still doing that on her YouTube channel. Kamisha Reviews did the interview. I think it was streaming on both of their channels tonight. And can you drop Auntie's advice and Ebby's channel, please? If you could drop those channels for me, please, in the chat, so you guys know what we do over here and how we support and we look out for each other over here. So y'all check out Auntie's advice. She did a video on Monday. I think Auntie did her video on Monday. It was either Sunday night or Monday, child. It was, my days are thrown off. By me going to Atlanta, I feel like it was the weekend, but it really wasn't. Instead of it being Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it was Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I'm all screwed up. It broke my heart when she talked about her bonus son wishing Symone many years happy. Yes, I know that's probably hurting her so much. She loves that little boy. She really loves that little boy. What is the plan for the joint channel? I don't know. I'm almost certain. I know that they are still planning on releasing the footage of, you know, the wedding footage, like everything they've done leading up to this. I don't know if people are interested in seeing it, but I do believe they're still planning on releasing all of that footage. But anything outside of that, I don't know anymore. I don't know. And I didn't even ask her. I didn't ask her, so I don't know. I don't see, I don't know. Let me just say I don't know, child. Because, you know, again, I don't know. I mean, that is a business. It is a way for them to make money. They may still put content and stuff up there. So, all right, y'all. It's been an hour. I'm going to jump off of here. I'm not sure what the agenda is for tomorrow, child. So make sure your notifications are on. I'll probably go live at some point tomorrow. I just don't know when and I don't know what. So, but I will talk to y'all later. It's also sad she invested so much time and energy into trying to work with him and his situation. It had to be exhausting. Yeah. Yeah. After they get through this, they can help other couples. That's a good angle, Keisha. That is definitely an angle. That is definitely an angle. All right, you guys. Thank y'all for being here. If you have not hit that like button, please do. If you are new here and you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the go on and subscribe, y'all. It's free 99. We have a good time over here. And I will talk to y'all later. Peace. Mwah.